Hello one and all, and welcome to Behind the Glass, your weekly automotive podcast hosted by two rather uninformed enthusiasts.
No.
I'm Sam from the YouTube channel Seen Through Glass.
I'm Tony from Gravelwood Car Sales.
And you can watch us each week. We hope you enjoy the episode. You'll be glad to hear, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm back to full health. I know you were worried about me earlier in the week.
Extremely.
You panicked, but I'm all right. I got hit with food poisoning a few days ago. And you can hear how sympathetic Tony was and still is. Have you had food poisoning before?
Probably, yeah.
No, but you would know if you've had food poisoning before.
I mean, I must have, yeah.
Yeah, well, I seem to get it quite a lot. I don't know what I'm eating, or maybe I'm not washing my hands enough, but when I get it, most of my family take the piss out of me for it, I seem to get it incredibly aggressively. So, cut to scenes of me on Monday morning, before I was about to head here to record a podcast, head in the toilet, like that scene from Team America. Yeah. I'm like never normally sick. I'm like, it's really aggressive. So I had to send you a text being like, pause on today, mate. I might be otherwise preoccupied.
I'm dying, basically.
I'm dying, yeah, but
I hate being sick, don't you?
Mate, actually vomiting, I despise. It actually scares me a bit.
It doesn't scare me. But in general, it's not that common in adults. You're sick as a child,
sure,
and as you become really old, you can get sick again, as in physically sick. But when you're past that stage, the bit in between from like 16 to 60 odd, male and women, human beings, they're very rarely sick.
Do you ever get sick from alcohol?
Well, that's self-inflicted.
No, but I was asking.
But I mean,
I've never been sick from alcohol, actually, apart from one time when I'm pretty sure I was, what's it called? I was going to say date raped, but I wasn't raped. I had the drug, I think. Someone spiked my drink.
You was just dated.
I'm an attractive guy in a bar, and someone spiked my drink.
You had hair then?
Yeah. It actually didn't, so screw you. But no, I'm not someone who gets sick from alcohol, mainly because I don't drink that much. Right. But it's not something that happens to me. If you drink a lot, will you vomit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I know not to ever get
to that point.
I would stop myself.
And because this is an automotive podcast, which we often forget, how about if you're a passenger in a car? Have you ever been a passenger in a car and felt nauseous or actually vomited?
Yeah, I can vividly remember coming out of a club in Streatham, in South East London, club called Caesars.
Sounds like a classy establishment.
It's not there anymore, luckily. It's a dive, mate. Yeah. We used to go there because it was like 20 quid to get in.
Sure.
Drink all you like.
Oh, okay.
Like, so you'd come out like blattered.
Yeah.
And I remember getting in a cab and being sick on the way home.
Okay.
And that will never, I was 18. But that will never leave me. I remember that.
What about now? Like if you go out for a lap with Archie Hamilton at Silverstone or Paul Wallace.
Well, not Archie. Don't drive fast enough.
I was just saying Paul because of his erratic behaviour.
Paul Wallace, I wouldn't get in the car with him.
No. That's so hard. We love you, Paul.
Being a bush.
But do you know, because I definitely get nauseous in a passenger seat.
No, well, I mean, I've done Amelia with you, mate. I've done 1,000 miles with you. I mean, I would say flat out using a 360.
I was going to say, we weren't flat out.
Going to run fast.
Only around track. I don't get that nauseous on public roads, but I definitely, if I get in the passenger seat on track, I definitely get nauseous.
Do you? No, I don't.
100%.
No. I love it, I do.
Really?
Oh, I love it.
You're happy in a passenger seat on track?
Well, because I'd only get in a car with someone on track that I trust.
It's pro level.
Yeah, or not at all. I wouldn't get in with a Billy. I wouldn't get in with someone who didn't. No chance. Yeah. Because then I'd just flap.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, anyway, moving on from all the vomit chat. Sorry, everyone. Happy holiday season, I suppose. We're a few days from Christmas. Ooh, are you ready? Have you wrapped your presents?
I'm going on holiday.
I know you are, mate. Well, actually, and on that note, this is our final recording session of the year. We're double episoding today, which we do every now and again, because Tony's off on holiday. I also have some time with family. So
what is Christmas?
It is Christmas. I think we're allowed it. Sorry, I sounded like really defensive there. We're allowed our time off. I didn't mean to. I was just saying we're double recording today.
Yeah.
So but are you ready for Christmas? What does Gravelwood close down, and what are your opening hours over the holiday season?
Yeah, so normally we'll work right up to Christmas Eve. We're actually going to be closed Christmas Eve this year. So we're going to close Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and there's a bank holiday after. But we'll be still available on the phone and emails, and then open again. And then, like New Year's Eve, we'll open till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then back to normal the week after. So,
have you ever had a big baller, male or female, come in on like Christmas Eve, being like, oh, I gotta get a last minute present for my partner. I'll pick up the X5.
I knew you was going to say that. I have had that before. I can't remember a car, but I can vividly remember that I sold on Christmas Eve was that Escort RS Turbo.
No way.
Bloke just come in on Christmas Eve and said, I'll have it. I'll take it now.
That's mega.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
That's the standout.
Did I collect my 540C on like Boxing Day?
No, you collected it you might have bought it.
Oh, New Year's Day.
No, it couldn't have been New Year's Day.
It was
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
31st.
Yeah, it was something like that. Oh, yeah. It was New Year's Eve, maybe.
Yeah. And then you drove it somewhere.
Yeah, and hid it.
Yeah,
because I wasn't unveiling it for a while.
You didn't even have your plate on it, did you?
No.
Or did you have your plate on it?
I think I did, and I think there's that story that I've told before where I parked at the M4 services, and I came out and a load of people were stood around the car, and I assumed that they were viewers, forgetting the fact that I just bought a supercar and they were just looking at a McLaren. Yeah. I was like, guys, hi. If you can just not post the car anywhere. They were like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, leave us alone. I was really embarrassed. Yeah. Anyway, we've got lots to talk about today. We're actually going to be revisiting a topic we've done before, but it's a topic that a lot of you request, and it's something that we've kind of been avoiding, I guess, for 2022, but as this is one of our last episodes of the year, we thought we would do. It's our Dream 5 car garage, and as I say, we've done it before, but lots has changed since our last time of recording this episode. Our views on certain cars have changed, but also new cars have been revealed. We've driven different things. We have different experiences. As I say, it's one of our most requested formats. So that's what we're going to be covering off towards the end of the episode. But before we get into that, I want to talk about a new car reveal, which I know Tony is not going to care about, but I'm absolutely obsessed with. It's the new Alfa Romeo Zagato. Did you see this?
Yeah, that's that stupid old cheese wedge thing that they bring back.
Yeah, but I don't actually know like how much of it is the cheese wedge they brought back, or whether people were just saying, oh, because it's the first time they've collaborated for a while. Let me actually bring it up. I did have the article somewhere, so I want to bring it up on screen so we can have a look at it. Because I think visually it's a stunner. Like Zagato absolutely nail the visuals. Only 10 of the cars I think built, all supposedly sold. I don't think we're going to find out how much it cost, but I'm going to say circa 300 grand probably. Okay. But yeah, okay, so sorry, it's called the spiritual successor to the Wedge, but it's officially called the Alfa Romeo Giulia short wheelbase Zagato.
Right.
What I love about it is it's essentially a rebodied GTA M. That hardcore full-on Giulia, which I love.
I think that would be more than 300 grand.
Do you? Half a mil?
Yeah.
Mate, you're probably not wrong. 10.
If BMW are charging $750,000 for a CSL.
Fair point. Actually, you've just hit the nail on the head. Yeah. At minimum, that's $500,000, isn't it? At minimum, that's $500,000. But it's super cool. Like, I say, styling-wise, I think it's stunning. GTA M, best version of the Giulia. It's a manual.
Oh my God! Which obviously 500 grand for a manual
makes me super happy. Loads of sort of iconic, the double bubbles.
Looks like a Vantage style from the back.
Yeah, so some people have been saying, did they steal the rear end from the Vantage? You're really not wrong. Like some of those rear angles, that is all Vantage. Where we go, the tail lights. They must have borrowed those from Aston Martin.
Well, they wouldn't have had to borrow them. They could just took them because they don't put them on their car.
It literally, that could be a Vantage, couldn't it? That's the disappointing thing. But aside from that, yes, super cool. Like two of the most iconic brands coming back together. They've obviously had a big history together. Will we ever see these things on the road? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. If there are 10 all sold, kind of all created under the radar, offered to elite customers of Alfa and Zagato. But I adore it.
It'd be like that Veloce thing, wasn't it? What was that that was based on the 8C.
No, you're thinking of the
really pretty car.
Oh my, Disco Volante.
Disco Volante.
Yeah, weirdly enough though, I've seen a few of those knocking around.
There can't be many of them.
No, very few of those. I think probably more than 10 though.
Really?
I think, yeah. Or only because I've seen like 4.
Right, so there could be 10. I've seen 4.
I get around a lot.
You might have seen the same car 4 times.
Should we Google it? Such an uninformed podcast. How many discos? Look at me and my new...
I mean, it's lucky you could type that quick. I'd still be typing after an hour.
But look at me and my new wireless keyboard.
Oh,
that's all I wanted to show off. Can you read that? Oh, only 8 coupes.
There you go.
Well, I've seen half of them.
You've seen the same car 4 times, mate.
Well, yeah, if they've repainted it. But you know what? The only thing that I say I'm all for this, even if it's stupidly overpriced or whatever, because I think it's beautiful and I'm all for it. And Zagatos do amazing work. The only thing which I'm sad about is obviously it was rumored for a long time that we might be getting a 2-door Giulia or some kind of 6C or 8C. I think it was always this.
Right.
I think all the spy shots, all the rumors, all the whispers of some kind of sporty coupe from Alfa were probably just this, and it means we're probably not going to get that car that Alfa fans like me were kind of hoping we were going to see.
Would you buy one?
Oh, if it was 150 grand?
No. If you had the money, would you buy one?
Oh, yeah. If I had the money, sure. But it's like
crap.
Is that how you know if a car's crap?
Yeah, because you buy one. You're the barometer.
So
crap.
So harsh, but it's not wrong. I think it's glorious. I'm applauding it, and I hope we do see them. I hope people drive them, but I just think it's unfortunately very unlikely either. And fingers crossed, I'm wrong, and actually there is still some kind of cool coupe from Alfa coming. But as we've touched on in previous podcasts,
like an M4 rival.
No. It's got to be the what's in that space, Gran Turismo rival, or a Roma rival, isn't it? Think of when the 8C came out, even though it was theoretically quite well priced at the time, it was a GT supercar. It was not quite a 599 rival, but of that ilk. So I think if they bought out a 2-door sports coupe, it's got to sit at 175 grand and be...
I think they'd be better off making a quadrifolio coupe.
A quadrifolio coupe and price it as an M4 rival. Yeah, you're not... I mean, mega. I'd be all over it.
Me too.
Come on, Alfa Romeo.
Come on.
Now, I probably need to address the last video that went live on the main channel, because it stirred the pot slightly about my 360.
Oh, you've sold it?
No. A lot of people were like, he's definitely already sold it. I know, he's got enough for he can't refuse, he's sold it. It's not sold. Car's still at NVN being worked on. It's definitely not sold.
I can tell you it's definitely not sold because no one's silly enough to buy it.
Well, that's a lie. I had a few people actually email me.
Did you really?
Yeah, genuinely. But I always want to try and be honest with you guys as much as I can. Of course, there's a part of my business which is building hype and creating storylines and things like that and narratives. For example, like the GT3, I haven't revealed the spec yet and things like that. So there's part of that, but I'm also trying to be as upfront as I can be. And that video was purely trying to explain my emotions for the last few months. And as I was filming that video, you can almost hear my brain and my thoughts going back and forth throughout it. And there is a complete truth to the fact that at the end of this incredible year with that car, I was a bit like, where do I go from here? What do I do? Because content-wise, emotionally, connection, everything, it's reached this real moment of like, well, I've achieved so much with that car.
Oh, I didn't know this was a business. I thought it was just a jolly for you. I didn't know you earned any money out of it, mate.
It is surprisingly a business. I do actually try and make
it's
money.
It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. He actually does this for a living.
Anyway, so I was trying to be honest with my emotions, but during that filming process and during that video, you can hear me start to realize that maybe it's just the fact that I spent a lot of time in the car, hadn't driven it for a while. You know, like, how do I address this?
Do you want my
Tony?
advice?
Yeah, go on.
Do you want my advice, mate? If you've had a fault, I don't know because you've not told me, but if you have had a fault about selling it, it's time to go. Get something else.
No, but if
it's crossed your mind, it's the end.
But you do know the only thing I would get is a Challenge Stradale. I am never selling that car to get 458 or 599 or an MC20. I only would sell that car to get a Challenge Stradale, and The only reason I'm considering it now is because, as I say, of whatever I do with that car next, and hey, there are still a lot of adventures and already stuff that I've got penciled in for 2023 with that car. I'm like, brilliant, great, I can't wait. But it's similar, it's the same, and that's fine. That's not, I still love and adore that car, but I always said I would work as hard as I can to get to a point where I can have a Challenge Stradale and love it. And I don't know. You can hear I'm not convinced either way.
You just said similar and the same contents, where we argued for 10 minutes on a previous podcast last year about similar and same not being the same, but you just said it in the same contents, so it is the same. But anyway, just thought I'd pick you up on that.
About what?
Well, we had this conversation actually at the very start of the year. Go back, ladies and gentlemen. I think it was the first podcast of 2022, if my memory serves me right. We had an argument about 360 and Challenge Stradale, and I told you to buy one. You said no because they're similar and not the same. Now you've just said similar and the same contents. But but it's not the same. Just thought I'd pick you up on that.
Thank you. Maybe a lot of
don't
you
even
know
remember.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, okay, so long story short, the 360 is not sold. I have no immediate plans to sell it. I am in no rush to sell it. I don't think I will sell it. I still love and adore it and cannot wait to keep enjoying it. But if there was ever a moment to replace it with a Challenge Stradale, perhaps that moment is approaching.
I think that's you should sell it.
But I don't think I should. I think I'll get back in that car in the spring, take it on its first drive of the year and go, I'm never getting rid of this thing.
All right, then let me put it another way then. Maybe you're not going to sell it because you can't quite afford a Challenge.
But the thing is I can, so this is the whole revelation.
What are you doing then?
I spoke to Magnitude Finance. A left-hand drive Challenge Stradale would be £100 more a month than I'm paying for my 360.
You need your head testing. So I know you have on a serious note, without winding you up, because I do like to wind you up, I know you have a real affiliation to your current car.
Emotional connection.
Yeah, of course. And it would give you that because of what you've done in it over the 4 or 5 years that you've owned it, right? So that will never go away, by the way, because I had that same emotional attachment to my 3RS and other cars, the Pistas that I've had, same. But let go, mate. Go and buy your dream car, the car that you've always banged on about for 8 or 9 years. Now's the time. Go and do it. You only live once. Flipping hell.
According to my wife, I don't. If I buy a Stradale the same year, I'm getting a GT3.
Tell us the same money. Lie, mate. Most people do. Most men do.
It is still debt, though. Okay, it's £100 more a month, but it is still debt across my name. Let's not forget that. Let's not make a rosy picture of finance of like, it's only £100 more. It's still a huge amount of debt that I'm taking on.
Whole world rolls around debt.
I know. But look,
money is debt.
Look, you are the devil on my shoulder, and that's the voice that's whispering in my ear. My biggest fear and concern is the connection I've built with my 360 is because of what I've done with it and that car. And it's well and easy for me to sit here and go, yes, well, look, it's finally time. I've done everything I want to do with that car. Mechanically and aesthetically, there's nothing more I can do with that car. Literally nothing more I can do with it. Adventure-wise, of course, there's many more adventures I can go on with it, but there's also many of those adventures that I could go on with the Stradale. But what if I get the Stradale and go, I miss my manual? What if I get, and people say, I'll do a manual conversion. It might not just be a 360. It might be that 360 that is what. Anyway, as you can tell,
I'll do what Shmee does and go and buy them back.
Oh yeah, good point. It's not.
I bought my old car back.
Nothing is happening quickly. Yeah. Anyway, I had to. As you can tell, I'm a mess. Let me just take delivery of the GT3 first. Let me get out in the 360 next year. Let me do a few of the adventures I want to do on. I am fairly confident. I just need to get back in the car. It's been too long. I haven't driven the car for too long. That's the problem.
All right.
So anyway. Now, last week, moving on from my 360, let's talk about another car in my garage, X3, because we said we would do a bit more of an in-depth chat about X3. I've probably now lived with an X3 for a couple of years, probably. The M40i first and then the M40D.
Yeah.
So to recap, I had the X3 M40i first, the old generation. I had that car for maybe 14 months, I think, something like that. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved and adored it. But as I spoke about on the main channel, it just didn't do enough for me in the pizzazz stakes. And at the time, I wanted something which could be a bit more filmable, a bit more usable. Replaced it with the RS6. Turned out to be a bit of a disastrous move. Came out of that and said, okay, stupid. I'll go get the F-Type, and Vicky, you can have an X3 back as the kind of family wagon. So you just
went round in a circle, really?
Went round in a circle. But when we were going back to the X3, I said I think it would be more sensible to get the diesel because of fuel economy. Now, you could of course get an X3, what's the hybrid? 30E, is it called? I think it is the 30E.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But the hybrid, firstly, eats into the boot space slightly. I don't think it's supposed to be the best hybrid on the market. I think the X5 hybrid is supposed to be fantastic.
Won't be the same?
I guess, but I think I don't know. When you read reviews, no one absolutely sings songs about the X3 hybrid.
Right.
People will say the X5 hybrid is fantastic. But for whatever reason, the X3 hybrid, people don't make huge amounts on. You can get the iX3, the electric X3, but I wasn't that interested in it.
My neighbour's got one of them.
Oh yeah, they're good looking, cool cars, but it's literally an X3 with a battery pack.
Literally.
It's nothing new about it, so it's probably not the best electric vehicle ever. So anyway, so M40D was the route to go. So what are the differences? Where do I sit? That diesel engine is just way more diesely than I was expecting. So the entire driving experience is less smooth, which I was not expecting at all. That 40i engine is just such a sweet spot. It's an unbelievably good cruiser, great around town, sounds perfect, and is just unbelievably smooth. You can drive that car like it's a Rolls Royce, but then also has so much performance. I think in the M40i, I was probably averaging 26 or 27 mpg probably in the M40i. In the M40D, we're doing around 36, 37, so 10 mpg more. We're probably doing 450, 475 miles a tank, where in the M40i I was doing around 350 miles to a tank. So we're definitely doing better fuel economy.
But diesel's 20p a litre more.
But I'm still doing better, mate.
Still better off.
I'm still definitely doing better off. But yeah, as a driving experience, I can 100% tell the difference. And as a car to drive, the M40i is 100% better. 100% better.
I'd agree.
Even the gearing feels a bit more jaggedy. I don't know what that's about. They wouldn't have any different gearing, would they?
No, it's the torque different.
The torque different, yeah. It did. So I love the M40D. I'm super happy with it. Every now and again I'm like, I just want a bigger car. I'm going to get an X7, just because I'm an idiot. But actually, it's fantastic and I adore it. But I do miss the smoothness and the power of the M40i, but I don't miss that fuel economy. So
I briefly touched on it last week. I think that engine in the M40i I think it's the B58 engine.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think that's the best engine on the market.
Yeah.
Today.
It's an unbelievable engine. Yeah. So if you're not too worried about fuel economy, which
it's not that bad, mate.
No. As I say, 26, 27 mpg average, and that was mainly town driving with a few bigger journeys, and 350 miles a tank. That is pretty good. But at the same time, it depends where your wallet's at. Depends what you need.
Do you want to briefly talk about fuel economy? You can second me on this.
Go on.
So normally I drive the van in the week.
Yeah.
Right. Normally to go around everywhere in the van, and I'll use something for the weekend. So last couple of weekends I've been using RS6, and I've stayed in it because it's Christmas week. I'm going away. I'm going to take.
You want to feel special?
No, just I've got a lot of running around to do, and actually. Sure. It's got nice heated steel. It's a lovely place to sit. And I thought, well, it's a short week this week. I'll just stay in the RS6. I won't bother getting back in the van. You know me.
I know. That's why I got rid of it.
I'm doing, honestly, because I'm doing the same mileage of what I would be in the van. This is why I don't drive a big car, ladies and gentlemen. I put £60 petrol in it yesterday.
Yeah.
I put £73 in it today.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to have to put some more in it tomorrow.
It's just not practical.
It's a joke.
It's not practical. We sit here and we do bash EVs and we do question what the future of mobility is. But as bigger petrol heads as we are, and as much as a car that you use as a daily, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
And if you're doing a lot of miles as well, if you're using it as a daily, we've said this before as well, if we're using it as a daily and you go and your office is 10 miles away and you go 20 miles a day, 10 miles to your office and 10 miles back, fine.
Well, not in London, mate, because I was obviously doing the worst fuel economy in and around London. So from my home to the studio, I was doing 9 mpg at best.
Yeah.
In stop-start traffic, so
Yeah,
it was even more of a killer.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it's just there's not really any justification. An electric vehicle that's justified if you're doing back and forth 10-mile journeys and you can charge at home.
Yeah.
But in an RS, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. So what's the point then?
What's the point? I was going to check in on Twitter before we move into our big old topic for the day.
Might have two people watching now, though.
So Nick_tweet said, "Did I sell my 360?" Obviously, we've just covered that topic. So yeah, as I say, not going anywhere fast. Don't worry, guys. Akash has asked, thoughts on the new 4-cylinder C63. Do we think, and maybe this is aimed at you, Tony, V8 prices will rise because of the 4-cylinder coming in?
I don't think they'll rise.
No.
For sure. They'll probably strengthen for a while. Don't forget, I know it is a 4-cylinder and people don't like change, but once it comes out, it finds its feet, it appeals to a different person. They'll sell millions of them because they'll make millions of them. It will be properly fast. I mean, it's 670 horsepower or something and 1,000 pounds worth of torque. I mean, it's a monster of a car. It is 2 ton, though, by the way, so it's a big, heavy car. But it'll just appeal to a different person. And once people get used to it, I think it'll fly, that car. Because it will be a proper car.
I will very interestingly watch that with you, because what I would combat that with is when they announced it, most of the AMG community and enthusiasts went, what? So initial interest was like, a 4-cylinder hybrid?
Yeah.
All of the reviews have been fairly placid. Like, there's really not been much positivity about that car. No one's come out and said, oh yeah, you might have thought that this engine wouldn't work, or the way. They've all been pretty average. And I think the car's delayed as well anyway.
Yeah.
So I would actually bet against what you just said with relative caution, because obviously you have much better insight into this stuff than I do. But I just think if you're in that space and you've been a loyal C63 or an AMG customer, you might be going, oh, well, okay, let me see what the reviews are like. Oh, I'm not going to put an order in yet. Let me see what the reviews are like. Or I've put in an order. Now the reviews come out. You're thinking, well, I was already nervous. Now the reviews say it's crap. Screw that. I'm just going to go and get an M3. It's a controversial car that hasn't yet won people over, and definitely not the journalists. And if people were apprehensive about it initially, and then reviews come out and aren't very nice about it, you're going up against quite a lot there to convince people to go and buy it.
It'll be absolutely fine, mate. I think initially it may have a little bit of a, but this is Mercedes, mate. They do so much research into building these cars, and they do ask customers and stuff. And yeah, the purist, it's a bit like the Amira chat that we've
got to have next week.
That we're gonna
careful, Tony.
Yeah, that we're gonna have.
That we definitely didn't have an hour ago, and we are going to release next week.
We're going to release next week, so more on that next week.
I was clear that we're double episoding today.
Yeah, so that's
this is the second of the 2 episodes that we've recorded.
Sorry, are we live?
Yeah. Cheers, Tony.
It's a bit like that in terms of it will just appeal to the mass, mate. They will. It may appeal to a slightly different customer, and again, like we spoke before, and onwards about values and sports cars changing, and in terms of values, hot hatches changes in terms of values. But it will be like a go-to car at that value. I think it will fly. Honestly, I think it will be fun.
What happened with the Cayman and the 4-cylinder that when that came out? And
obviously still sold loads of them.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. So it's still sold fine. They weren't impacted, you don't think?
No, I mean, they still sold a lot of cars. It's just that they went back to the 4-cylinder.
The 4 litre.
Sorry, the 4 litre. I don't actually know why they went back to the 4 litre. Probably because they built too many for the GT4s and thought, got a load of engines here.
But you don't think as well they knew it was also a way to sell up, because the 2 litre GTS didn't sell well, did it?
Not as well as the...
And then the 4 litre came along and then suddenly everyone went nuts.
Well, even the 4 litre GTS has slowed off now.
Okay.
It's not... I think that 4 litre Cayman, or just the GTS Cayman, isn't as good news as we think in general.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's. I mean, let's watch the C63. It's definitely interesting.
I think it'd be fun.
And I'm sure you're right, because you said the same about M3, M4, and you were definitely right there. Just on Amira, Neil did ask on Twitter, how am I getting on with the Amira? And as Tony just put our foot in about, we've already talked about it on the episode that we recorded before this one, that's going out next week, just to confuse ourselves and you. But as I say, that's what happens at coming up to Christmas. We try and get ahead of ourselves. So look, let's come on to our big main topic of the day, and I say one that supposedly lots of you have been waiting for us to discuss, and it's our dream 5-car garage.
Yeah.
So the premise for this is you just sold Gravelwood for 10.8 billion, seen through glass, just sold a stake, 50% of the channel's gone for $50 billion. Our Euro Millions tickets has come in. We've won $400 million, whatever. Unlimited amounts of cash. And this is, you're walking out of your mansion and you've got a garage that can fit 5 cars. What are the 5 cars in that garage? Now, I'm not going to judge. If you say you want them all to be caterhams, that's cool. But theoretically, you're probably going to have one which is a bit more of a daily, one which is more of a special occasion car, theoretically. So that's kind of where we're going to go. We'll go one by one, I guess. You don't have to give a category. I don't think we should go. I think you can justify why you have it, but I'm not going to say, right, what's your SUV going to be? What's your sports car going to be? Because it's up to you how you feel it. You might have all SUVs.
Yeah.
So I'll kick things off. And I'll go with my daily. Bentley Bentayga S.
Fair.
Because I still, for me, and I know Bentayga sort of was a bit hit and miss when it launched, I still adore the Bentayga. I love Bentleys in general. Everyone knows that I'm a massive fan of the Continental, and if I was a bit richer and a bit braver, I would have had one years ago. But yeah, I always think if I had a lot of money, I would go and buy a Bentayga. And actually, whilst we were talking about RS6, you know that I was half considering one of the old shape Bentaygas, and you said you will spend more on a Bentayga than on your 360 in terms of maintenance.
Yeah.
So you scared me out
Disaster.
of it. But a new shape Bentayga, the V8S, the quick one with the RS6 engine, with all the nice trims and all the nice bits, perfect daily. For me, perfect daily. And I know everyone's going to... I got slack for featuring the F-Pace SVR and saying, why is there a lot of purists going, SUVs are crap, sack off SUVs. But as a daily, if you've got sports cars, which the rest of my 5-car garage does, I don't need to be in a sports car. I want to be comfortable. I want to be wafting. I want to have an engine which maybe sounds quite nice. I want to have stance and presence and luxury and tech and all of these things. The Bentayga is fast enough to overtake some people on a B road. It's fast enough on a motorway. I am not taking my Bentayga to a canyon, nor am I taking an E63S. I'm just not taking an RS6 to a B road for a Sunday morning drive. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that is my choice. Well, how do you think about Bentaygas? Are you...
No, I like them.
Yeah, you like them?
Yeah, I like them. Yeah, we've had a couple in stock before, and especially the older shape ones as well.
Yeah,
I've driven both models.
At 100k, I still think the older shape ones are good values, but you really scared me about them when I was half considering one.
Because you was looking at a W12 at 90 odd grand.
Yeah, because finance wise, they were like $1,000 a month or something like that, and I was like, oh, bargain!
Yeah.
Where in the world is £1,000 a month a bargain? I've lost touch with reality, haven't I?
If you think the RS6 is bad on fuel, by the way,
yeah, joke. Okay.
Get one of them W12s.
But yeah, the V8s are a gem there.
Yeah, that's the car to have. The V8 one,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, same engine as it's that Audi V8.
Yeah, well, as I say, the Bentayga S is literally the RS6 engine, I think. So it's like 4.5 seconds, 0 to 60 in a big old SUV. So plenty fast enough. Okay, so first choice for you, sir.
So I'm gonna go SUV as well.
Okay, fine. That's a good point. We're starting the same place.
We're starting the same place.
I already know what you're going to pick.
And it was a real toss-up between these two SUVs, and I've had an argument about both these cars previously in the past. And one of them's an Urus.
I knew it. Oh, I can tell you what the other one's going to be, but go on.
And the other one is the new Range Rover.
Yep.
Not the Sport, the big full-bodied Range Rover.
The SVO?
No.
Like a Vogue,
just a Vogue.
V8 Vogue.
A diesel or a petrol one. Whatever.
A wafter.
Yeah. And the reason... If I had to pick and I only had to have one car, I'd pick an Urus. But the reason I'm going to go Range Rover is because the rest of my stuff is sports, and an Urus is more sport than luxury. So I'm going to go Range Rover as my first car.
So the thing about Urus, which I always find...
Urus.
Urus.
Yeah, it's not Urus. It's Urus.
Sorry, Mr. Italiano. First time you've corrected me on European pronunciation, but you're probably right.
On anything.
Yeah. So the Urus is because it's a Lambo and because of the way it's set up and the driving dynamics and the way it looks, I think you end up wanting to and driving it like a hooligan.
Drive like a sports car.
Because it's actually a very good wafter. Like, it's actually a very comfortable, it's, we keep referencing RS6, but dynamically, it's sort of similar in its cruisability.
Very dynamically, yeah.
But because of everything about it and the fact it's a Lambo, when you step inside it and you're like, and you drive like a knob.
Yeah.
You just drive like a knob.
Yeah.
So that's why, even though it's very good at the dailier stuff, you're right, it's unrelaxing to drive because it's a Lamborghini.
And because my next 4 cars are very heavily towards sport.
Okay, so the Range Rover is a bit like with a Rolls Royce.
It's for the family, mate. It's put my dog in, my daughter.
Well, unless you're actually mentally insane, I don't think you ever get into a Range Rover and do anything but drive as smoothly and calmly as possible.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about stepping behind or sitting behind the wheel of a Range Rover that makes you just go,
yeah. Your heart just like beats a couple of ticks less.
Yeah, a couple of ticks less.
Does,
and you're on the motorway and, okay, if you're in a Fiesta ST, you're at like 71, 72 most of the time in a Fiesta ST. And I'm being polite. Let's face it, most people are at 91 or 92 in a Fiesta ST.
Or anything.
But you're in a Range Rover, you're like, I'll go 58. Screw it.
Who cares? Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. I'll do 58 in the fast lane.
So yeah, I don't knock it. I think that's probably a fantastic choice. And like, what colour would you go?
I'd have a black or grey. Black or grey, yeah.
So boring.
No, I'd have an ivory interior. Mind you, what about the dog?
What about the dog?
Oh, not an ivory interior for the dog. He'd wreck it, wouldn't he?
No, keep it. In the SVO variant, the special
I wouldn't have an SVO.
No, but in it, they do two-tone. You can do the rear seats in one colour and the front seats in different.
Stupid.
No, it's actually all right, actually. It looked quite good in the flesh.
Well, dog goes in the boot, mate. He doesn't sit in the back.
I don't know. I've moved the conversation on.
All right.
Just to differentiate the cabins.
Oh, right.
Different sectors. And actually, just segue for a second. 2 cars that I just want to quickly talk about in the used market in this sort of sector. Old shape Range Rover SVA, the rear autobiography, the ones with the limo seats and the TVs. Great value, I think, at the moment at sort of 90 odd grand.
Yeah.
And alongside them, old shape Maybachs, similar kind of money.
Yeah.
Unbelievable super luxe SUVs.
Who
all
buys
the
that
kit.
car though? Who buys that car?
Well, clearly no one. But but wow, I'm tempted.
Well, of course you are. What have I just said? I've been sat here for 2 hours telling you loads of stuff about anything that's crap he buys.
If I didn't, I'm sort of a bit anti-Mercedes. I never really know why, even though I like that EQS. Like, I would have a Maybach. I really like a Maybach. I don't know why. Anyway, sorry. Okay, next choice for me. I'm going old because I've had to dilute some of my classic content this year. It still lives inside of me, and I still kind of.
What do you mean you had to dilute it?
Well, I just haven't done a load of classic stuff this year.
Good.
No, it's not good, mate. I miss doing some of the old classics. Ferrari 250 short wheelbase. Now, could it be the GTO engineering one? Sure, I'd take it. Could it be an original? Absolutely. I don't care. I just want a 250 short wheelbase because it still is really the only car that's basically made me cry on camera.
Why? Why did you cry?
Because it was just so emotionally overwhelming. So I drove the GTO engineering car. Many collectors.
When you was driving it?
Yeah.
Was that bad? It made you cry?
No, it's that good. It made me cry. Because that is a car that I don't think and I know it's not a real one. It doesn't matter. It's exactly the same thing. It's a car I don't think I ever expected to drive. I mean, I've driven a Formula 1 car, Tony. But
a restricted one.
It's a 20 odd million pound plus car that no one really chucks you the keys to. And I was never expecting anyone to chuck me the keys to. And for GT Engineering to say, here's a car, go have fun do whatever you want for 6 hours. And it to surpass every feeling and emotion that I thought it could, and to connect with me in a way that I wanted it to, and it be like, it was everything. And it wasn't even one that Enzo built. Do you know, like this is a recreation, which, okay, is to the actual blueprint. So it was near identical. But yeah, that just blew my mind. And I love a 50s or a 60s car. For me, is a It's a different experience. It's a different driving sensation. I adore it. Most of the 50s and 60s cars that I want are multiple millions of pounds, and I have to accept that I'm unlikely to ever own one. So I know that, and I've said it before, if I won the Euro Millions, my 20 million, 250 short wheelbase, I'm there. I'm done. Gone.
Or when your parents snuff it, you can have one then.
And that's an awful thing to say. Like an awful thing to say.
No, it's not. I mean, it happens to everyone.
But firstly, it's the assumption that my parents have 20 mil knocking around that I'm just going to take and spend on a 250 short wheelbase, which I wish were true. But secondly, let's not talk about my parents snuffing it, mate. What about when your parents snuff it?
Well, one of them probably already has. I've been sitting for 35 years. I don't blame him either.
Imagine if you just suddenly got a call saying, hi, we represent your father, and he's left his will, and actually he's left you £52 million. He won the jackpot in Texas. Anyway.
And he didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's choice number 2, a classic Ferrari.
Yeah.
Go on.
All right, so as I've had to listen to you say that, a car's popped into my head that I didn't cry, but it did give me a similar emotion.
Go on.
Something I wouldn't normally pick because I like modern stuff.
You're going to say a 360, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Something that's my era and something what represents real specialness to me, and that's the Enzo.
Oh, yes. Well done, sir.
Because the experience I had in that car when I drove it, as bad as it was...
Because it is a bad car, people.
It's a terrible
Just
car.
FYI. We both love it, but it's not a good... Like, it's flawed in so
terrible.
many ways.
Yeah.
It's terrible is extreme, but it is flawed.
But in modern comparison, it is terrible. It's awful.
Yeah, even comparatively to other cars that were out at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Me too, yeah. It's like literally one of my favourite dream cars. And if I had the money, I'd go and buy one tomorrow. And I probably wouldn't, I'd do 100 miles a year in it. I wouldn't drive it. Just like to have it, to look at it. Because it's like the name, the way it looks. It's still one of the I mean, when you see one, it still looks modern now, today. It's still, and everyone knows what it is. It's just one of them cars, mate. It's just a proper icon car. And although I never cried when I drove it, I mean, I'm a man.
You were fighting back the tears.
No, I wasn't. But I was like, this is like proper.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
me.
what about when we took out David Lee's? The yellow one.
Yeah.
What a vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the passenger seat and I was loving life.
Yeah.
You were driving behind me in the Shelby.
Yeah, I
What
was.
a moment.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah.
Good old David Lee.
Good old David.
And your 100 miles a year is to what? To dinner? Or like, would you do a road trip in it?
No.
It's just for like, it's a perfect Sunday morning and I want to go and get a coffee at Dalesford in the Cotswolds.
In perfect conditions.
Okay.
In the summertime.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my best mates took one on a road trip, mate. I mean, he's deluded. I mean, it was terrible, but I mean, he took it.
Yeah, and it's really hard to explain because, and hey, Tony's the quickest to knock cars that aren't good. I enjoy and applaud cars from different eras for their quirks and their things. The thing about Enzo, as I say, like a 430 Scud, a 599 GTO, a Carrera GT in my opinion. But I'm trying to think what else were big hitters at the time. McLaren SLR, no. But, you know, there's so much else at that time that dynamically, capabilities, everything is just better. Enzo is still in a straight line, unbelievable, and presence and road feel and all these things like that. But actually just wasn't that fast and wasn't that dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to say. It's hard, but we'd still have one. You still have one over all those other cars that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
But it's quite a hard thing to explain. You got to go and drive one, and you'll be like, okay, I see what they're saying, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
matter that it's kind of
it doesn't matter how
in so
bad
many
it is.
areas.
Yeah.
So moving on, I've mentioned Ferrari. Third in my list, of course, has to be a Porsche.
Yeah.
As a good old fan of the show who knew Jerry Seinfeld questioned us on Spike's Car Radio, am I a Porsche guy or am I a Ferrari guy? I'm a bit of both, Jerry.
But fundamentally, you are a Ferrari.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But third on my list, we got there. 991 Speedster. Obviously I haven't taken delivery of my 992 GT3 yet, and maybe that's going to change my mind, and maybe I'll fall in love with that car and build a story like I have with my 360. But to this point, for me, that 991 Speedster is just such perfection for modern Porsche. And I do like a top-down car for the odd occasion, and I just love the 991 era, my connection with it, the Carrera, like just everything about it. And I would just rip out the roof. Like I would just take the roof out completely to get a little bit more lightweight, and it would be my dry weather day car, and
you just leave it in LA.
Yeah, I'd leave it in LA, my mansion at LA.
Yeah, you'd have a place in LA.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, that for me, I have to have that. Kind of all the modern Porsches, GT2 RS is the 992. Oh, for me, it's the 991 Speedster.
Fair. Yeah. I can't argue with that, to be fair.
Thank you.
It's not... I nearly bought one.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, we had several conversations about one. About 2 years ago.
Was it a Heritage Pack one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it for whatever reason. You said it's not really for you.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been because you said it had too much
I still like
stuff.
it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have enjoyed it. You said it's not a track car.
Yeah. Coming on to that, because car number 3 for me is very, very, very track orientated.
Very obvious.
Yeah.
Pista?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Go on.
The new 3RS.
The new 3RS.
Yeah.
Wow. Haven't even driven it yet, but you're like...
I don't need to.
Don't need to.
I will get one at one point.
That is your track toy.
That'd be the track toy, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Fair. And black on black on black on black?
Yeah, stealth car.
And at that point, 5-car garage, who cares what it's like on the road?
I would use it for the road. I've got 5 cars.
Yeah, you just drive it to Silverstone.
Yeah.
Spend a day at Silverstone, drive back.
Because when you see my list in a minute, my next couple, you'll understand why the 3RS can go in there.
And we'll all applaud you.
Yeah. Well,
you go, what a genius.
Because at the end, my list will, of course, be better than your list.
Probably.
Is it?
We'll let the audience decide. But I know they'll probably vote with you. Yeah, I mean, I
can't really go in.
I can't knock you for picking a 3RS. I don't really have a track car, but I'm not really a track guy.
No, but I would back round all the time, no problem. I'd go tracks like all around the world.
But you know my problem with track days, and I always say I'm not a track guy, and everyone's like, well, you've bought the wrong car. Why have you got a GT3 if you don't like track driving?
But it's more a road car, mate.
Thank you. Can you repeat that, actually?
But it's more a road car for track. It always has been.
Thank you.
Not a track car for the road.
Sam should have bought a turbo.
Well, you put turbo tyres on, you might as well.
Oh, by the way, winter tyres are sorted. Good. Winter tyres are happening, so it's the Michelin Pilot Alpine 5s.
Brilliant.
Going on. And then when we come back, off the back of that podcast and a lot of chat, I've got to do a test. PS4Ss and P0s. I'll do it back to back. Because I've driven P0 car, but I've had a few people reach out who said that they've done PS4Ss and they think they're better than the P0, so I'll do it.
I'd agree.
Yeah, anyway. So what I don't like about the track days is I don't like the non-competitive element. What I don't get is the batting around a track again and again and again, bashing your car for what purpose? Just to know that, oh yeah, I took that corner a bit better than I did last time. If there was lap times involved or a race, I'm all for it. I'm there every day of the week. If you said, Sam, you and me, a day at Silverstone, lap time challenge, I will be there every day of the week. I will take you on and I will ruin you. But hey, Sam, do you want to come to a track day, an RMA track day, and black around the track with 40 other nutters all trying to plough into you and prove that their cock's bigger than yours? I do not care. It's got zero interest to me.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not a track guy.
Okay.
So the 3RS, as I say, I would actually get the cup car and go racing. But that's not in my 5-car garage. Anyway. So moving on, the more...
And what did you get out of getting a cup car and racing at the end of it? There's no money in it.
No, but there's the I won. There's not the money. There's the competitive element.
All right, go with a couple of friends then that have got similar cars and back round with them.
No,
be
no,
competitive with them.
but it's not
Same
competitive
thing.
because you can't race on an open track day.
Well, why not? I do it all the time.
No,
Find someone that's as quick as you and chase them round, vice versa.
no, because you can't. It's not. You can't do competitive overtaking on an open track day.
Can on an
You get
RMA
black
day.
you get black flag.
Not on an RMI day. You can overtake on
Lunge
both
into
sides.
corners and everything.
Both sides, yeah.
Into corners, into braking
Well,
zones.
technically no.
Exactly.
But you can't have a lunge.
So it's not competitive. So you can overtake someone on the straight. Oh, all right, fun.
Yeah, but you can have a lunge if you like.
No, it's an open track day. You're not supposed to be doing that kind of stuff.
Well, you're not supposed to, but everyone does.
No, well, there you go. So as I'm there, in my lovely 992 GT3 that I financed to the hilt and actually can't afford and I'm terrified by, someone's going to come lunging away. Yeah, look at me, I'm chasing my mate in his freaking Lotus. Like,
Get out of the way then.
Yeah, but then there you go. Like, anyway, so I'm sorry, it's not interested. It's a load of willy waving.
Or just be
track
quick.
days is willy waving.
Or
mate.
just be quick enough.
No, but it doesn't matter how quick
No
you
one's
are.
going to overtake you then.
Well, yeah, but then you get held up by some douchebags in front of you squabbling it out in M3s.
Not if you're fast enough, go running outside of them.
Well, no, not if they're dueling across the track like you saying, overtaking each other.
No, you just launch them.
Yeah, I know you're right. I know you're right, but that's why I don't enjoy track.
Fair
days driving. So yeah, my fourth car on the list is probably my more controversial one, which isn't that controversial, but it's Jaguar XE Project 8.
Fair.
So me being me, I can't not have a Jag. I can't not have a 5-litre Jag. Maybe people were expecting me to say the F-Type Project 7, but look at the rest of my list. The one thing which is hard to come by and one I think someone wants or should consider is a 4-seater sports car. It's the car that you can go to dinner with or pick your mates up in or go to an event and that's not just 2 seats. Because when you have 2 seats, you are super limited to where you can go or what you can do. And therefore you sometimes have to lean towards the daily or the SUV. What I love about Project 8, and it's the same with Alfa Giulia GTAM, actually Bentley Continental, because those rear seats are pretty usable, GTC4 Lusso, things like that, you can actually pick people up. And so I have to have a Jag, and I love the Project 8. So for me, that's the one to have. The touring spec, I'd have one with a wing, but no roll cage in the back. So the 4 seats.
Yeah.
Bish, bash, bosh. As I say, it means I can use it with family, with friends, with everything, go to anywhere, and that you can properly attack a back road, a mountain road.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could wake up and go for a Sunday morning drive in that Project 8 as much as I could load it up with the family for Christmas lunch.
Okay.
So
Fair.
I thought you'd be all over me on that, but you
No.
didn't let that slide,
I mean, I'm fed up with telling you, but it's up to you, mate. It's your
Okay.
5-car garage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm pleased for you.
Cool. Okay.
Mine's definitely better than yours.
Go on.
So
number
my
four.
next car, I probably consider. This is why I put the 3RS in, by the way. But I probably consider this car the best everyday supercar you can buy. Pista, 488
Yeah.
Pista.
I saw that coming.
Because it's like the point and squirt trip car. Because we call them point and squirt cars.
Yeah,
you know, they're that nice value.
That nice value of 300 grand. You have lost touch, mate.
But you know what I mean. You can spend £500,000 on a supercar.
Oh, you can.
You know what I mean?
You can spend £4 million as well.
But
you can also spend 50.
But what I'm saying, not a supercar or an R8, but that's not really a supercar. It's just hot hatches that are faster. So what I'm saying is, it's that nice sweet spot. It does everything. It's as fast as anything on the road. It's just brilliant. It looks lovely. It's got good boot space. Perfect for a trip. Drive it flat out. Can use it on track. Probably better to use the 3RS though. I can't really say anything bad about it.
What about your beloved SF90?
No, I prefer the Pista.
Really?
So SF90.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will have an SF90 because I've had. How many pieces have I had?
6?
Yeah.
Teen?
But yeah, so that's what I will have an SF90.
Yeah.
I'm equally excited about the 296, but I can't put that in yet because I haven't had it yet.
Sure.
So
I think you'll still lean towards Pista over 296
because of what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as epic as I think the 296 is, and as much as I love that car, I think you'll want the version Speciale.
For sure, because that was as much as the love affair I had with the normal 488. I really loved the normal 488, and it was one of my favourite. And for value for money, it's still probably one of the best supercars on for value for money for what it does. But it was a bit soft for me.
Yep.
Which is why I like the Pista, because it's the harder version of that.
Yeah. Well, you know how you were bowled away by SF90 saying it's a half-price hypercar, like it's amazing value.
Yeah.
I hope that's what you'll find when you spend some proper time with the 296. I think you'll go, how is this what Ferrari are offering at this price point? As in, like, it's just so levels above.
Yeah,
for
fair.
me, that offering. I think that 296 is a spectacular car in terms of its capabilities.
Yeah.
Okay, so then my fifth and final is got to be the big hitter. I'm a billionaire at this point. No,
He's a billionaire at the start, no?
Yeah, yeah. As I say, no F's given.
No.
Bugatti Chiron.
Fair enough.
It's, they released that new weird one, like the Chiron Tour, the Pure Sport Touring. I think it came out today. It's got like a ducktail instead of the big wing. I don't really get it, but like it's a one of one. It's got like all the leather. They killed like 50 billion cows for it or something like that. Like 250 million leather coats were used for this, which seems a bit extortionate. But the Chiron, I was going to say like the Veyron, like I get a Veyron Vitesse, something like that, because I still think that's, for my era, like, me and my modern classics, it holds. But the Chiron is just so much better. It's just
You've
so
got modern
good.
classics in there, mate.
Exactly. Like, and the Chiron, it's a little bit ostentatious for me. It's a little bit showy, but who cares? I'm a billionaire. I'd probably live in some Manchester. Like, I don't give a crap at that point. I'd have it brown. And
brown.
It's just
Probably look quite good in brown.
Oh mate, it looks great. I spec'd one at the factory in brown.
Did you?
Yeah, brown carbon fibre. Even the specking guy was like, lovely choice, sir. I said,
Thank you.
You know how to spend my money. But yeah, I can't. If I've got that money, there are lots of hypercars, 918 Spider, LaFerrari, can't think of many others, but yeah, I have to go Chiron. I just think I'm probably just a bog standard. I'm not getting a super sport. I'm not getting a pure sport. I'm just getting the Chiron, and it will be my special occasion car. You do 100 miles in an Enzo, I'd probably be doing maybe 200 miles. I might do a trip to the south of France. I might do a trip to my summer resort in Geneva or whatever. But
South of France,
because what a cruiser! I've still said, and I'm going to pitch this to Bugatti this year. God knows if it's going to happen. I want to do a heritage piece with them. But I just want to do a road trip in a Bugatti, like an actual, legitimate 1,000 miles in a Bugatti.
The problem is, mate, I mean, that cost him a fortune.
Well, they don't have any press cars.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a customer car. So they've got a couple of heritage cars, but that's the piece I wanted to do. I wanted to do Veyron, like early Veyron, and then they've just done that. What was the last car they released? The sign off to the engine?
I lose track, mate.
Well, that last thing that they just did, which is the sort of convertible, whatever. That's what I want to do. Start of the W12, end of the W12, that kind of piece. So drive a heritage Veyron. I'm just giving away. If bloody Shmee or JWW do this before me, I'll be furious. I'm going to stop talking about this. Ben, cut this bit out or bleep it. I'm giving away all my coin. Anyway, hopefully I'll be working with Bugatti in 2023. So yeah, there we go. That's my 5-car garage then. Bentayga S, 250 short wheelbase, 911 Speedster, Project 8, and Bugatti Chiron.
Fair.
You have one more car to go, sir. What shall it be? So,
I was going to say LAF.
Okay.
I was going to say LAF. I haven't put the LAF in, not because it is a dream car, but because the Enzo's in there. And the car that I'm going to put in, if I had to pick between these two, and it was only these two, I would go LAF. Mm-hmm. But because I actually think this car I'm going to put in is all round a better car, I'm going to say the 918 Spider.
Okay.
And actually, I have a little bit of a confession. I will buy one of them one day. It's a full-on dream car.
It's going to happen for you.
Yeah. I mean, a LAF's not a thing. I'm not going to spend, unless I was a billionaire, which is unlikely. I wouldn't spend £2 million on a car. I just wouldn't. But a 918's £1 million. I mean, I would spend £1 million.
Well, and I think there will be off-market, quietly, especially with the way the world's going at the moment, a higher mileage, maybe lesser spec 918 at 800 odd grand knocking around in the next couple of years.
They are that now. So like a 10,000 mile car, non-Visac car, they are 800 or 900.
Oh, yeah, I thought they were like 950 or 960.
I'd want a Visac car.
You'd want the whole
I'd
special.
want a low mileage proper Visac car.
Okay,
but that's a full on genuine dream.
So you've done 2 Porsches, 2 Ferraris. So you went Range Rover, Enzo, GT3 RS, new 992 GT3, Pista, 918 Spider.
Pretty good.
2 Ferraris, 2 Porsches and a Range Rover.
Yeah.
Well, we can see where your allegiances lie.
Well, it's obvious because how many times
No, fair enough. Oh, hey, look, don't move
Porsche
from
and Ferrari are my best 2 brands.
Obviously. Well, as we sort of predicted, I think I know.
I've won.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not about.
Yes, it is,
mate. To each to their own. But you guys can let us know. You guys and girls can let us know which of those 2 garages you would choose. I pretty much feel like 90% of you will say Tony's. Of course, feel free to let us know as well which 5 cars would be in your dream garage. If you're watching here on YouTube, you can comment below. If you're listening to us, you of course can tweet us just to check in on Twitter as well. Matthew Colliers just said, what are your thoughts on collecting cars, both in terms of events, etc., and their effect on the market, if any? That's a big question, Matthew. We love collecting cars. We keep an eye on them regularly. Super interesting. We referenced in the episode that's going live next week the fact that they sold a very early Amira. They've got a GT4 RS up there at the moment, which is going to be very interesting. It's a great barometer for me as an enthusiast to see values of cars. I have no idea how it affects you.
It doesn't affect the market at all.
It's usually quite a bang on-ish or around trade. And
similar to retail from my point of view. It's a very good platform. We actually sold a car to one of their members of staff last week.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Well, I mean,
two really nice lads.
Whole team there are wicked. I love the fact that they're branching out into their events, some of their social content. So yeah, we're big fans of collecting cards, and I think it's great for automotive community in the UK. We didn't really have something like that until the last few years, and much more success to them, I hope. But yeah, anything else, you can obviously always tweet us, use the hashtag Behind the Glass, especially as we move into this Christmas season. I'll say we have pre-recorded our episode for next week. We hope you enjoy that. I'll be sharing a lot of my thoughts on the Amira. The video, my proper seen through glass video for that, goes live on Christmas Day, a Christmas special. I haven't announced that I bought one. That would have been a good Christmas video, but I'll reveal that spoiler now. That's not what I did. But yeah, that's my video scheduled for Christmas Day. And then we'll be back with you in the new year with new episodes and probably more live streams over on Recast. Those of you that have joined us for the live stream of this recording session, thank you so much. It's always great to have you watching us and participating with your comments as we go live. If you want to follow Tony during this holiday season, he's at Tony Gravelwood Car Sales on most social media platforms. I'm at Seen Through Glass on most social media platforms. And whilst you'll hear from us next week, we'll be back here recording another episode in 2023. But anyway, we'll see you soon either way. Bye-bye.
See ya.